Hello everyone, this is your TA Tamanna. In this video, we will learn how to get covariance and coefficient of correlations in Excel. Now what's covariance? Covariance measures the strength of the linear relationship between two numerical variables. For example, suppose we have the attendance and average score of each student in a class of 15 students, and both attendance and average score are measured in percentage. Let's denote attendance as X and average score as Y. If we get the covariance of attendance and average score, it will give us the strength of the linear relationship between these two variables. Now, the formula for covariance is sum of xi minus x bar multiplied by yi minus y bar divided by n minus 1. You can use just the covariance formula in Excel, which is equal sign co-var select area 1 comma select area 2 close parenthesis and enter. This is too much. I'm gonna format the cell. Now I'm going to format the cell and keep it to 2 decimal places. So we have found a positive covariance between attendance and average score, which means that if one increases, the other increases too. So now let's try to find out the covariance using the formula we have here. I'm gonna skip the calculations and I'm gonna jump to the result. So what we have here is the same as the one we got. The covariance measures the strength of a linear relationship between two numerical variables, but the flaw of covariance is that you cannot tell if it is a strong or a weak linear relationship. If you want to know how strong or how weak a linear relationship is between two variables, we can use coefficient of correlation. Now, coefficient of correlation measures the relative strength of a linear relationship between two numerical variables. The values of coefficient of correlation range from -1 to +1. -1 refers to perfect negative correlation, and by perfect what we mean is that if the points were plotted on a scatter plot, they will construct a straight line. If it's a perfect negative correlation, that means that it's a downward sloping straight line. And if it's a perfect positive correlation, which means the coefficient of correlation is +1 in this case, then it shows upward sloping straight line. And if there is no correlation, then the coefficient of correlation will be 0, which means each of the values are the same. There is no variation in the data set. So for the population data, the coefficient of correlation is represented by this Greek symbol rho, and for the sample data, it's represented by small r. And the formula for coefficient of correlation is covariance of x and y divided by standard deviation of x times standard deviation. Now let's move on to an example. So we have the attendance and average score here, 15 students, and we have the covariance 292.71, which I have copied and pasted here. Now let's get the standard deviation. STDEV dot S, select area, close parenthesis, enter, and STDEV dot S, select your data, close parenthesis, and enter. I'm going to format the cells and keep it to 2 decimal places. Now, the coefficient of correlation, as you have seen in the formula, is covariance of xy divided by standard deviation of x times standard deviation of y. So the coefficient of correlation is type equal sign, select the covariance divided by standard deviation times standard deviation of x times standard deviation of y, and enter. The coefficient of correlation is 0.78. Now there's a formula in Excel that you can use and it will be easier. Is equal sign CORREL parenthesis, select your first array, comma, select your second array, close parenthesis, and enter. So gives us the same coefficient of correlation for this data set. So we can say that there is a positive correlation between attendance and average score, and it is about 80%. So there is a positive correlation between attendance, class attendance, and average score. So in this lesson we learned how to calculate covariance and coefficient of correlation in Excel. So that's all for today, and thank you.